One of them is Sharda Cropchem. Recently reported their Q1 numbers. The company reported good set. This has come in as a recovery after a few quarters of weak performance. Revenue surged 23% on a YOY basis. This time around, the company has reported a profit versus a loss last year. To discuss this and more, we are joined by RV Bubna, Chairman and Managing Director at Sharda Cropchem. Mr. Bubna, good afternoon, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, you did indicate that prices have bottomed out in the last conversation that we had. Can you give us a sense of how much did prices rise by in Q1? What was the volume growth that you saw? And if that trend has continued in Q2 as well?
Madam, the prices have not risen much, but the volume has grown. Volume has grown by almost 41%.
Okay.
Compared to the same quarter last year.
Okay. So if you can give us a sense of going forward, the growth, will that be led by volume growth, or are you seeing a similar pricing growth as well?
Madam, there will be both pricing growth as well as volume growth. Pricing should grow better in the second and third and fourth quarters, particularly third and fourth quarters.
Okay, sir. So now talking about the AgChem business itself, could you give us a sense of how the EBIT margin over there panned out? You know, it appears to have kind of slowed down. Was this because of higher rebates, discounts that were given, and will that reverse in the coming quarters?
Sir, there was some rebates given, but the main reason was excessive production in China and huge stocks that the manufacturers as well as the distributors and intermediates had collected. That led to very big collapse in the prices last year. Now there's a small increase in the prices, but the prices have stabilized instead of going continuously down. And I feel from here, the prices should start looking up, but the process will be slow. Not that fast as it was in the case of dropping.
Okay. You know, I also wanted to understand what happens with the balance sheet. You have seen an improvement in working capital days. You're sitting on a cash of around 650 crore rupees as well. Is there any plan to do any acquisitions globally? Is that something on the cards, or what is the plan with the cash that you have in your books?
Madam, we don't have any plan of acquisition or any such things. We will reduce our working capital days, and we will pay our suppliers punctually on time, or sometimes even early, and try to get some cash discount if we can. And also make some investments into mutual funds or and fixed deposit schemes.
Okay, so I understood that you're taking advantage of the buoyancy in the equity market. So, you know, if you could give us a guidance, you said that at this point of time, prices at least have definitely bottomed out. So you expect some recovery, maybe not at the same pace at which they declined last year. With that in mind, could you give us a sense of what is it that you're targeting in terms of volumes for FY25, the kind of pricing you expect, and if possible, you know, if you could give us a guidance for top line margins as well as profitability?
Sir, we are expecting the volume to grow by about 15 to 18%, and revenues will also grow in the same proportion. And our gross margins should be in the range of 30 to 35%.
Okay, 30 to 35%. And just for context, Sharda Cropchem has done gross margins of 29.2%. So from
EBITDA should be in the range of 15 to 18%.
15 to 18%, and that is the similar revenue growth that you're expecting as well. Got it. What are the current registrations in the pipeline, Mr. Bubna, and what kind of money would you require for those registrations? Because that would be a substantial sum, if I'm not mistaken.
See, we have about 2,900 and odd registrations in hand, and about 1,050 registrations in the pipeline.
Okay. And what kind of product approvals are you expecting this year itself? Will this growth also be led by any new product introductions that you would make?
Yes, there will be many. We are expecting more new registrations, and there will be new products for us, and that will help us to improve the margins.
Okay, so just a quick word as far as the demand outlook is concerned, you know, both domestic as well as exports, and especially a word on how Europe operations are panning out.
Sir, the demand is constantly in the improvement. Our volumes have increased very happily and handsomely. and we feel that this trend should continue in the next 3 quarters.
Okay, all right. So after a lot of weakness that we've seen because of global agrochemical inventory destocking, now things are coming back on track. The stock price is higher by 5% as well. Thank you, Mr. Bubna, for joining us as always and giving us your take on what's happening with the industry and the company in specific as well. The stock actually has seen an uptick since the time we had this conversation. So that's the word coming in from Sharda Cropchem. We'll step into a break now. Up next.